teaching is the most important one for me because it's my final student teaching demonstration. To be honest, the preparation was not as stressful as it would have been if we were to do it face to face like in the previous years. All I had to prepare was my lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation, and myself. However, it was still not easy. I was a little worried about my discussion because we already ran out of competencies, so we didn't really have a choice but to give a third scaffold. I felt really bad for the students because I know they already have so much to do. I'm just really glad they're fine with it. I mean, they have to be, because they didn't really have much choice. Making the lesson plan was fine, but I admit that I'm really bad at making one, so I badly needed corrections that time so I can edit it while I still have time. Sir Caballo hasn't replied yet, so I contacted Ate Jo instead and asked whether my flow was fine. She suggested some activities I could add, but I wasn't able to because of how limited the interaction is in Zoom classes. But I'm still glad that she was there to lend a hand. I rehearsed my flow for days, just so I won't forget what to say and which comes after which. The night before my demo, Sir Caballo called to check on me, and he also asked me to make a few revisions to my lesson plan and rubric. I then told him about the changes I made with my flow, which he then approved. That same night, I invited my fellow student teachers for a Zoom meeting so I can rehearse. This is a thing that we usually do whenever someone needs to practice, and I'm really thankful for that. However, my internet connection wasn't cooperating at all, so I had to cancel. I waited until 11 p.m. and invited one of my closest friends to a Zoom meeting so I can rehearse because my internet connection was already stable. After that, I went to bed as soon as I can because I still had to travel to the Magere in the morning to have my demo at Ate Jo's apartment because she has a strong internet connection there. I didn't really feel too nervous during my demo because I already rehearsed enough times to familiarize my flow. However, one thing really worried me was Lauren's questions. I didn't really know whether I should still discuss grammar, but I decided not to because I was afraid I'll run out of time discussing something that we have already finished discussing weeks before. However, during the conference, I learned that I should have just given him at least 2 to 3 examples to help him with what he was confused about. There are still a lot of things that I could still improve on, and I'll remember them for my second semester. But for now, I'm just glad I'm already done with my final demo. In this session, I was able to show my skills in the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process, apply teaching strategies that develop critical and creative thinking and other higher order thinking skills, and demonstrate understanding of the range of verbal and nonverbal classroom communication strategies that support learner understanding and participation.